Okay, so here I have an object, and I'd like to make it toggle on and off when we click this button, and I'd like it to play for all players so that everyone sees it toggle on and off. Here's how I go about doing so. First of all, we need a button and an object to toggle. On the button itself, we need to make sure we have a collider of some kind, and I've made mine is triggered so the player can't collide with it. Then, the first thing we need to do is we need to go add component and create an udon behavior component. And then we need a script to go inside this udon behavior component. So I'm going to come over to my project scene, I'm going to right click and go create vrchat udon graph program asset, and I'm going to call this toggle gameobject synced. And then I'm going to open up the udon graph. Now that we're in the graph, we need to know two things. First of all, we need to know what game object we need to toggle, and second of all, we need to know whether or not we want to turn it on and off. This is needed for syncing, as there's a possibility that when my object is on, your object is off, and therefore they'll be desynced. So in order to do this, we need to come up to a variables tab, and we're going to first create a game object variable. I'm going to call this target geo, and I'm going to hit this drop down and make it public so we have to see it inside the inspector. Then I'm going to hit the plus button again. I'm going to create a bool variable, and I'm going to call this is active. I'm going to hit this drop down, and we won't make it public, but we will make it synced so that it is the same for all players. Sweet, so now that we have that, we need to toggle on and off our game object. So I'm going to drag and drop my game object in here, and I'm going to use a game object set active node. And this node, when called, will change the active state of an object, which is this toggle here. Sweet, so now we need to say whether or not we want it on or off. Now currently this node is telling it to turn off whenever it's called. We can click this to make it on, but we want to do whatever the synced value is. So I'm just going to drag and drop my bool and put that in here. So now whenever this is called, it will resync our game object to be whatever the synced bool says. So now all we need to do is toggle that synced bool in order to toggle on and off our object. To do that, first we want to know when we want this to happen, and we want it to happen when we click the button. So I'm going to use an event interact node, and this will play whenever the button gets clicked. Now we want to change this bool value, so to do that I'm just going to drag and drop while holding control to get a node that will set it. Then we want to grab the bool, and we want to use a bool union negation node, and that will flip this value and then plug that into the value slot. However, this is a synced bool, so currently only the owner of the object is able to change that. And that will default to the instance master, which isn't always the person clicking the button. So what we need to do is we need to change the owner of this object to be whoever clicked the button. And that will be whoever is the local player. So what we want to use is we want to use a networking set owner node, and this will allow us to change the owner. And then we just need to say what player we want to change the owner to, which we can use with a networking get local player node, and plug that in. And now whenever we click the button, it will make the local player the owner of the object, and then toggle the is active bool. So now whenever this bool changes, we need to toggle on and off our game object. To do so, we're just going to grab our is active bool and hold down Alt to get a node that will play whenever this value changes. Then I'm just going to plug it into the set active node. I'm going to plug the bool new value into this, so we don't need this extra node. And so now whenever this bool changes, it will play this node. However, do make sure to hit send change, otherwise the person that clicks the button won't see this node play. Now we just want to do a small optimization and set this up for manual syncing instead of continuous syncing, and that will mean that we'll just be a bit faster to do the transition for other players. So for this, we just want to create an udon behavior request serialization node and plug that at the end of whenever a synced value changes. In our case, it's just the set active node. Awesome, so that should be all we need. I'm just going to hit compile and come back into our scene. I'm then going to go into my button, and I'm going to drag and drop our new script into here. I'm then going to change the synchronization from continuous to manual, because we set it up for manual syncing. And then I just want to drag and drop our game object that we want to toggle into the target game object. Awesome, so now let's just test in Unity first to check that it all works. And now that we're in Unity, we can click this button, and we should see it toggle on and off the game object. Awesome. The last thing to do is just double check this with two players to make sure the networking's all working. And now that we're in the world, we can see that when one player clicks the button, it toggles for both players. And if I was to switch players, we can see that when the other player clicks it, it also toggles it on and off. Though obviously there's a bit of delay, but I've got it quite high ping, to be honest. Anyways, hopefully you found this helpful. Feel free to leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment down if you've got any questions. I don't check the secondary channel all that much, but if you want to support me on Patreon or join my Discord to check out my main channel, link should be on the homepage. And I'll see you again next time.